Let me tell you about my day so far.
No. Also narration.
Oh yeah, and I got digits from this Polish chick in Rio.
I don't know what her being Polish has anything to do with this, but the point is you got a chick's phone number? What a life.
And then I jumped back for the final quarter of the NBA Finals. Courtside, of course. And all that was before lunch.
You know, because they play the NBA Finals in the morning now. Everyone's schedule is wake up, shower, breakfast, NBA Finals, then lunch. Also, you jumped into courtside seats at the NBA Finals in the final quarter. I can't even begin to scold you properly for all the common decency you just violated there. Did you take someone's seat? You decided to do this in the fourth quarter? Nobody saw you? Also, I like how this asshole brought this goddamn surfboard with him during this jumping to the top of the Sphinx for some reason. You know, to impress the other dick-faced douche nozzles like himself.
Once I was a normal person. A chump, just like you.
Hey, I am not a chump. I make YouTube videos that are overly nitpicky for the sake of oh, I am a chump, aren't I? Millie instantly gets uncool points for spelling Prague incorrectly. That's not a typo, that's a righto, or a wrongo.
Picked it up at a yard sale in Plymouth.
Because that's what I do. I go yard sailing in Plymouth with my gammy every weekend. And when I see things that make me think of girls I'm stalking who think I'm a weirdo, I buy that shit for them. Then I give it to them at school in newspaper. Want to make out?
Come on, Rice Bowl, don't be stupid!
Why is this white bully constantly calling this white outcast kid Rice Bowl? How is that an insult? Rice Bowls are fucking delicious! See, I have this rule. It goes like this. Fucking never walk out on a frozen body of water for any reason. And if Rice Bowl had followed this rule, he'd be dry right now. Horny and humiliated, but dry. David's miraculous first jump manages to happen in the aisle of a busy library and nobody sees it.
And that's how it happened the first time.
You mean catching pneumonia?
Home sweet home. Mom left when I was 5. As for Dad, well, let's just say he wasn't much of one.
A Roland Emmerich film.
Just teleport?
Only on the second time David teleported does he become amazed that he teleported. The first time, you can chalk that up to some weird thing that happens. Second time, now we wonder what's going on. Ironic library posters. David jumped to the library the first time when the school let out for the day. Then he walked home and incredibly didn't die of hypothermia during what must have been a 2-hour walk, because once he jumps back to the library, they already got the yellow tape up and have closed the building for the day, and no one's here. A tap on the window? Sure, let me go explore that shit outside in the cold in my pajamas, and then just happen to find the snow globe this asshole David left for me on a swing in the middle of the f***ing yard. Good thing I'm dumb and curious and have alligator blood.
I wanted to tell her everything.
How about something?
I figured it was time to move on.
Because you discovered your power, or the abusive dad? Or the girl you have a crush on? Honestly, not sure why you so blithely decided to move on, but whatever. You can teleport. Does it matter where you go or where you are at any given moment? Even though I can teleport, I took the bus, the slowest f***ing mass transit system in America.
And so there I was. I had a million questions. Like, how does this thing work?
It took me the entire bus ride from Michigan to start coming up with those questions. I didn't even try to find an open field somewhere to see if I could practice this new power. I said, F it, let's just go to New York City and figure it out. I'm handing out wings. This nugget decides, let's try my power in Central f***ing Park first. Man, at least the kids from Chronicle used the backyard in the beginning.
I was 15. Come on, what would you have done?
At 15, not rob a bank. I'd probably have zapped myself into a cheerleading practice or onto the pitcher's mound at Yankee Stadium. I would not have immediately leapt to grand theft. You are unique in that aspect, you big troublemaker.
Is there a bathroom for customers?
Yes, there is, and it's really far away from here. And I'm the only entrance guard, but let me lead you to it personally for some reason. It goes right by the safe and everything. I understand the safe was open earlier, but not very long. How could David visualize jumping inside this safe when he only caught a tiny glimpse of it? Yeah, he's 15 and stupid, but why would he steal a box of coins? Like, 3 bills from any stack of bills he steals are worth more than an entire box of any kind of coins. This hairstyle. He went from I want to escape a shitty home to I want to steal all the time in about 2 months' time. Also, Pepsi, y'all. Also, he stole something that says police on it, and which appears to be a bike or motorcycle. His name should be tries to get caught with a fist. This is how the movie decides to age up its main character. A literal cut from age 15 to age, what is this, maybe 22 tops? Tell me again why the same actor couldn't play both roles. Like some incredible dickhead, David transports in a frivolous manner throughout his apartment in a super lazy fashion. How is this guy's leg muscles not atrophied already from severe underuse? This is completely unnecessary, but thank God for this movie's plot, Billy Elliot is here to see this, so that the movie can continue movieing. Also, he randomly showed up to London for no good reason, and just happens to be at the same bar another rare teleporter is in. That's bad. That's coincidence defined. But it's even worse that our hero f***ing teleports inside the bar, from the door to the bar, thereby exposing himself to detection in the first place. It's like 4 feet, asshole. Exactly how lazy do you have to be teleporting distances this small? This guy has all the money in the world, but he still feels the need to steal some shit. I mean, at least show him leaving a couple $100 behind before showing him surfing his ass off in the ocean. This is a usual thing for David, to jump onto the Sphinx with his surfboard, lawn chair, CD player, and fast food. He's probably dripping ketchup and mustard all over the Sphinx's head, and nobody ever sees him. And yes, the wide shot reveals that you would indeed have been easily seen by a native or tourist. I mean, somebody call Egypt on this dude. This is apparently another jumper who just got caught by Samuel L. Jackson for the XXX program that trains Jedi in the ways of the Avengers. Also, the beginning of this scene shows this guy transporting through the trees to get away from the NSA people. But why didn't he just transport somewhere that's not this place?
Only God should have the power to be all places at all times.
Of course, these jumper hunting assholes have a religious reason, because of course they do.
Told you when we need that umbrella.
Wait a fucking second. Are you telling me that somehow all the things David just did in the last 4 minutes were all on the same day? He transported to London, where Big Ben was kind enough to tell us it was 8:30 London time, which is 3:30 in New York City. He picked up the hot chick at the bar, and he tried to go surfing in Martha's Vineyard. But then these helpful dudes told him that Fiji was the place to go, so he went there. And shortly after he wiped out, he went to Giza. This is where they fucked up. Giza is 7 hours ahead of New York, and he was there in broad fucking daylight. Even giving the benefit of the doubt that all his activities took 8 or 9 hours, and he was in Giza in the morning, he would not have been able to get back to New York during any kind of hours where the apartment lobby was still busy and this guy was still working.
8 years we've been looking for you.
That's how terrible we are at our jobs. Discount Mace Windu teaches Anakin a lesson. David's father has David's old room chained up, because reasons. Also, we're supposed to somehow believe David's been keeping all this money in his old room, like some sort of offshore account that he couldn't fit in his closet at his apartment. There's zero explanation for this, probably because the movie cut a whole scene out.
This is Roland. He got away.
Because of drywall. He outmaneuvered me with drywall.
We have his jump sites.
You do? Fucking how? And what does this even mean, considering he can teleport anywhere he chooses? Ah!
Who is this?
Sam Jackson rummages around this dude's apartment and finds a rare old photo of a girl from like 10 years prior and automatically assumes our hero is in love with her. And yeah, he's right, but that's also kind of my point.
Holy crap, Rice Bowl?
Still not sure what's worse, him inexplicably calling this guy Rice Bowl or him recognizing the older Rice Bowl. Who cares? Send it twice. This is a cash-only bar in 2008 and is somehow popular with the college kids.
You're asking me to go to Rome?
I mean, only if you want to skip the boring parts.
That worked. Haven't seen each other in 5 years, 5 minutes into the reunion, they're headed to Rome. Also, if you can instantly teleport anywhere, it must be grueling to sit still on a 10-hour flight to Italy.
Can you believe just 10 hours ago we were in Ann Arbor?
That's pushing it. Ann Arbor is close enough to Detroit that it's most likely you drove to Detroit's airport to fly out to New York City. That process alone is a good couple hours. And Google tells me an average flight from New York City to Rome is over 8 hours. So unless you had no layover at all, there's no way you got from Ann Arbor to Rome in 10 hours. And that's not even considering the fact that I'm assuming he hadn't even purchased tickets yet when they were in the bar. But they still got seats on the first flight out. The director said, "You're a thief and you were terrible in Star Wars movies. But the only way people will truly know you're an asshole is if you eat an apple."
I think there's something you're not telling me.
Well, duh. Why didn't you think or say this before the 10-hour trip to Rome, eh?
If you don't want to tell me everything, that's fine. Just don't lie to me.
Huh? Those are the same thing. An omission of truth is still a lie. You're drawing a super fine line just so you can trick yourself into thinking it's okay to fall in love with that old weird kid from high school who showed up this morning and you flew to Rome with immediately.
Reach it.
Then how'd you get it down in the first place? Methinks the movie is trying too hard to create physical intimacy between these two, which is weird. She quit her job and left Michigan 5 minutes after re-meeting him. I'm guessing both of these people are already highly down to f***. Also, did they stop by her house for a sexy dress on the way to the airport? And this is the only thing she brought that needs to hang?
Rookie.
We've seen this jerk face 3 times in this movie. Impact to the movie? 0.
It's closed. We can't break into the Colosseum.
Why is it so damn important for David to show Millie around in the Colosseum right here and right now? Don't they have another day or two in Rome to see this place? And plus, they already f***ed. His work is done, in my opinion. No one sees this!
Gotta admit, it's worth the risk.
Still a huge fence behind you where guards, employees, or police can notice you, and no, not worth the risk.
Is that door just open too?
It's open now.
This girl was f***ing floored by that snow globe in high school. It made a huge impression on her. That's the only reason I could think of why she'd fly to Rome spur of the moment and then do double breaking and entering with this guy. Again, no workers anywhere in this bitch. The Roman Colosseum is easier to break into than an American politician's email. Griffin absolutely needed to tell David about how stupid he was being, but he waited until right now, when they're about to get attacked by Samuel L. Jackson's taser goons, to let him in on the fact that there are other jumpers.
Damn.
How the f*** did these dicks know that David or Griffin were in the Colosseum right now? We know Roland knows that David was in Rome, but Rome is a big f***ing place. Say, why not teleport to the top of the Sphinx in Egypt right now, or some super far away place, as opposed to continuing this Colosseum fight charade? People jumping and lots of running, mixed with quick edits. I don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going on, let's call the whole thing off. I think that's how the song goes. Also, this movie really could have used a good storyboard artist. Checking IMDb. Jeremy Simser? You mean that guy? You still couldn't make this work? So not once during that big action scene in the Colosseum did Millie notice anything that was going on. She heard commotion but decided not to check it out.
No comprende.
Those are cops, dude. At this point, it's easier to teleport you and Millie far away from here. And sure, you'll have to have a tough discussion with her, but at least neither of you will be arrested. Diane Lane makes a brief appearance as David's mom, who somehow knew her son was being detained at a Roman police station and decided to take this opportunity to basically say, I know you have a lot of questions, and I'm Diane Lane. Get the hell out of here. David leaves this guy on top of the Sphinx, but it's okay. He's an Italian cop just doing his job, so it's hilarious.
I really want to trust you. You're making it extremely difficult.
Alright, so trust me.
Why do you want to trust him again? Because of the snow globe? I mean, we have that memory. Then he shows up years later and you go with him to Rome in an instant. Your desire to trust him is incongruous with what we've been shown. You should doubt this motherfucker hard.
I can't get on this flight with you, Millie. This is as far as we go together.
So, from your perspective, I whisked you off to Rome and you, got arrested, then broke up with you.
We lost him, sir.
How many did you send?
2 men.
I told you to send everybody.
She said 2 would be enough.
Wow, we have the pronoun game going on here, and we have a direct order being challenged by some mystery person, I'm guessing Diane Lane, who previously did not figure into any of the plot we've seen so far, including Roland's visit to David's apartment earlier.
We're searching the grid now.
You're what? You're searching the grid? If this movie bothered to explain anything to me about how these jumpers are being tracked, I might have enjoyed this movie more. Instead, it just spews technobabble bullshit like this and thinks it's a Bourne movie. Movie shows an orgy of evidence that David's dad is still a drunk by showing us not 1, not 2, but 3 fucking beer bottles lying on top of his car. Expertly placed. He didn't even throw one of them to the ground, did he? And can I say for the record that the midnight car repair is probably more evidence of him being drunk than the 3 beer bottles. Holy the brand loyalty in this apartment is astounding. Pepsi products galore. Does this asshole work for Pepsi? Also, he's got like a whole 6-pack of Mountain Dew next to several empty cans of Pepsi. How does his love of Mountain Dew and Pepsi get along? Because I'm telling you right here and now, it doesn't, goddammit.
Still alive, eh?
Dude, last time he was here, you were livid and screaming for him to leave. What changed?
There's more of them.
Hundreds more. I'm tracking 10 right now.
Is this movie going to tell us anything about this unexplained janitor lying handcuffed in the corner over here? Something tells me an entire scene was cut out.
You really don't get it, do you? Paladins have been killing jumpers for years. Way back since medieval times.
Well, how's he supposed to get it if no one ever tells him the it? Kinda hard to tell in this scene if she's upset at the whole thing with David or that she's flying Delta. Guy in a Fox movie does his duty and watches Fox, because why the Fox not?
Mark!
How in the hell did David know this dickhead was in this jail? Remember, he took Mark into a bank vault and then transported back to Millie's bar, where they then immediately flew to Italy. So he had no idea about Mark's fate at all. Also, what exactly does David hope to achieve here? He's basically berating this bully guy into admitting he told Sam Jackson about Millie. But Millie is already screwed, and you already got busted in Rome together. So how does proving it was the bully's fault that led to all that actually help you right now? Are we supposed to believe that modern planes, drones, and satellites can't spot this in the open desert? Cause it feels like we are, and that's just silly. Goddamn, this Billy Elliot asshole's jump scar lasts for 10 goddamn seconds.
I know Tokyo pretty well. I got a lot of jump sites here.
Again with the jump sites. This movie suggests there are limited places these assholes can jump to, but also claims they can jump anywhere they want. And mostly it just pisses me off.
I have this common thing.
And I know where to find Roland.
Dude, why didn't you lead with that when you tried to join forces with Griffin earlier? He told you, I can't find Roland, I've tried and tried and tried, and you just stood there. Okay, sure, but don't these jumps usually leave some damage? How could he speed toward this glass without it breaking? Also, they're in the middle of f***ing Tokyo where we just saw the place hustling and bustling, and yet nobody saw this? Is everyone in this world muggles? Also, why even drive, eh? Jeez, did these guys drive this car all night, or did they actually find a hotel somewhere? What's the point of this damn Tokyo trip anyway? Oops, Griffin didn't leave any kind of scar this time. I guess that was only for plot convenience.
Your friend came by.
What are you talking about?
Black eye, white hair. You just missed him.
My question is, why wasn't Roland or any of the Paladins at the airport waiting for that plane to land in the first place? Why did he have to resort to looking for Millie at the bar?
I'm not in banking, okay?
Is David's secret such that he thinks Millie will never want to speak to him again if she finds out? He's got his secrets bogged down a movie like this. She could have learned about the secret in Rome and we'd have a much better picture.
By bringing her down here, they can follow you. They have a machine.
Something that I could have told you a long time ago, and this movie could have told us a long time ago, but it was considered such a surprise they held it back until the stakes were highest. Also, they haven't used a machine to follow a jumper this entire movie, even though they could certainly have used such a machine. But now all of a sudden, machine. This movie's got to be half on the cutting room floor, because it's got cool that ultimately doesn't make sense, despite coming in at a studio-approved 1.5 hours.
Millie! Millie, run!
Totally unredeemable character somehow redeems himself at the most climactic moment possible. This is totally against his character, so I'm calling this an about-face cliche.
Without the machine, they're screwed.
But they can still somehow shoot a cable through the scar without it, which is some deep, deep bullshit. Also, they were aiming for her, like they somehow knew she would be on the other side, because Roland yells, "Got her!" Like that was the plan all along. Why didn't David jump to a whole other place right after this one? Maybe put the bomb in the safe at the bank? I mean, he knew Griffin would jump through his scar, right? so why not do something harder to trace? I have a hard time believing they have enough time for this world-hopping fistfight. One wants to save Millie and the other wants to kill Roland, but neither of them has time for this shit. Someone's got some explaining to do if one of their frequent jumping points is a fucking kiddie pool. Also, both these dudes should die from this pool entry, considering the velocity they were traveling at before the jump. Oh shit's right. How the f did Griffin jump this car at the exact angle he needed to be going directly at David right now? And why didn't David just throw the damn detonator in the water already? Man, jump 5 feet to the right and throw that bitch. Also, that asshole had time to hijack a fucking truck in the last location and then drive it through this scar.
Chechnya.
Why in the world would you ever jump to Chechnya for any reason? Did you get bored one day and think, man, I wonder what Chechnya's like? And after you visited, why would it pop into your head as a place you'd want to go again? Also, that's definitely racist. This dumbass thinks rescuing Millie will be this easy.
There's some things you can't jump, David!
Boy, it sure would have been nice to know all the rules earlier, rather than just when the plot needed you to know these details. I think this movie is way more X-Men The Last Stand than the filmmakers intended. The movie goes full circle jerk and has David transport from the water to the poor library again. Wasn't she f***ing kissing him right before they teleported? Let's pretend the protagonist is dead for a few minutes, just to f*** with the audience.
Stay here, okay?
She's lying flat on her back here, and then she's upright mid-sentence. David transports this guy to the Grand Canyon instead of 10,000 feet into the atmosphere for a casual drop-off.
Could have dropped you with the sharks.
Or on the moon, actually. Jeez, you might as well have dropped him in with the sharks. How the f*** is he supposed to get down from this? He doesn't have any climbing gear and no cell phone. You left him for f***ing dead, man. Somehow, after stranding Roland in the Grand Canyon, David was given the address for his mom by someone. I mean, what? Ah, random Kristen Stewart cameo.
I only had 2 choices. Kill you or leave you.
So you left?
To protect you.
Again, to protect you from f***ing what? You have all the power here. You could have told David about his powers and protected him by telling him not to use them in a stupid way. How does learning this shit on his own protect him any better than the care you could have provided with the knowledge you possess? Again, I did it to protect you, cliche is total bullshit. It shouldn't even be a cliche.
So I'm a jumper. You're a paladin. What now?
I'm giving you a head start, son.
Look, lady, either you want him to live or you want to do your job. This middle ground bullshit will not fly with me. Also, if you were going to turn him in or kill him, you'd have done it back when he was 5 and you discovered his abilities. So, empty threat is empty.
Because I love you.
Total nonsense. And anyway, isn't it funny how this connection that Roland made earlier didn't even factor into this movie? He knows Mary is David's mom, yet nothing came of it other than a huh. Isn't that weird?
Jumpin', them boys up to something.
Ever since CinemaSins began, the most requested thing has been TV Sins, and now it's a reality. Click the link in the description below to check it out. And now, the audio outtakes.
I will be the most powerful Jedi ever. I promise you.
I want everybody up and running.
Everyone! Who are you?
I'm Batman.
Give me the detonator, David! Talk to me. Where are my detonators?
Once I was a normal person. A chump, just like you.
I'm an average nobody. Get to live the rest of my life like a schnook.
Love me, hate me, but let me know you're up there.
Hey, I can see our hotel from here.
I noticed you have 3 X's tattooed on the back of your neck. I think that's rather appropriate since you're looking at 3 strikes.
Can you believe just 10 hours ago we were in Ann Arbor?
You know what I can't believe? I can't believe tomorrow's Thursday.
Cans!
I can see the bed!
Cans!
There's a bed! Oh my God!
There was no bed, it was full of cans.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
How about this for talking, huh? Am I getting the message through here? You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy this and not join them!